What's going on, everybody? This is DJ McCree, and today we are going to be talking about sampling. I meant to do this series a while ago, and people have been asking me, just different things about sampling and whatnot. So this new series is going to be called Next Level Sampling, and I don't know how long I'm going to go, or short or whatever, but I just know we're going to do a thing. So, I'm just going to go ahead and play just this basic loop I have. I'm working on a track, and so in 3, 2, 1, it'll be loud. So, do what you got to do in preparation for this. So what do we actually have here is something that I actually built. It's not this track is in particular is not a like your usual grab a sample from something and just chop it up or whatever. And the reason for that is because there's many ways of sampling. You could sample pretty much anything, and if you actually come into sampling thinking about or thinking outside of the box of grabbing your typical soul song or whatever, you'll end up doing a lot more in general when it comes to music because of the way it's sampling. So let's actually talk about this technique in more detail, because all y'all hearing is something that sounds like a synth, which it is. It's a synth line. So I haven't really mixed or anything, mastered anything. I have a few things that I was experimenting with as of right now, but nothing's very solidified. But we're gonna actually talk about what I used. So if you actually see here, you see I have some samples pulled right here, and I have them chopped up, which gives it this feel. As you see, you actually can identify where it was chopped at. Just one chop. So it's very simple. Now, the full sample itself, pull it up right here. It sounds like this. Yeah. So what did I sample? I sampled this. Now, this particular technique is probably going to vary for however you approach it. Fortunate enough for me, I took I made a proper investment in this right here. And what you're looking at right here is Obscurium. Now, when I first literally saw this, I had all kinds of ideas for this, because if you actually look at the actual track itself, you see that it's only one key, but it's playing all this. If you look at this particular MIDI track, move this out the way, you see it's just A sharp, all it is. And funny enough, when I was playing with this, and I'm probably gonna have to make just an adjustment or so. When I actually, back to this, Obscurium, is a VST that is a sequencer VST, which where you can sequence and just add dots to certain particular areas, and it'll affect certain parameters. In this particular window right here, this is the arpeggiation window of the sequencer. And then, you have your modulation, which nothing is going on in modulation. So there, and then I made sure that the pitch was default C. And then you have your polyphony, which allows for your chords to be progressed and played in a certain manner, and your chords being in this window as well. All these are from a specific area, which I'm about to go to right now, and which has always blew my mind about this plugin, is that you can pull up other plugins in it. As you see, I have an instance of Dune 2 in there, which is also one of my go-to VSTs. I also have many things like this, which this is the Nexus version, but you know, on my website called Loudpack, where I design different sounds and stuff like that. Anyways, boop. Now we're getting into the greasy area here. As you know, like I said, Obscurium can pull up other VSTs. And why is that significant? It's significant because as you can see, if I just press a key, and I'm just gonna as you can see, I'm only pressing one key. It looks like I'm pressing several, but I'm only pressing one key, and I'm pressing A sharp. And what it's doing is it's going through all the chords that coincide with an A sharp, which will fit perfectly in A sharp. Yeah, so, but yeah, getting into it. So I just pulled up the What a Time to Be Alive version of my Loudpack series, which goes for Dune 2, and I picked Owls Flying, the pad. In a creative sense, I was just like, man, you know what? That's actually ready to go. I was just like, cool, you know, and that was just experimenting. It was this experiment. It was an experiment that when I first looked at it, I was just like, hey, you know, maybe I should try some things. In large, when I actually started drawing this out, all I did was just pick out this particular tool right here, which draws you a sine wave. And then I drew the sine wave up in every parameter except for pitch. And that's how I landed on it. Just experimenting. And another thing, when talking about this particular sample, yeah, I got to this part right here, and I didn't even do anything. I just left everything as is. It was just already default. That was okay, easy peasy, okay with me, and I just went with it. And I just go ahead and I'm gonna solo everything. There was a huge problem within that sequence when dealing with Obscurium. I haven't really figured out how to re-trigger. And what re-triggering is usually when you want to play a part, and then once you end it or whatever, that it will loop back to that normal part, just like how it appears in the sample and how I have it chopped up right here. As you can see, I'm just gonna go ahead and play through it. You'll see that it's not re-triggering, that it's continuously playing. So what I ended up doing was saying, you know what, F it, I'm going to record it. And that's what I'm going to do right here. Hold up, let me go ahead and save as real quick. I'm not going to screw up my my track. But yeah, so you know, it would not do that. So what the end result I had to do, because I wanted the first bar to loop over and over again. I wanted that. So what I had to do was this, and this is where it gets a little tricky. Now, I highly recommend, if you really want to check out this and do this technique with something, whatever thing of choice, or if you want to get Obscurium, which is like, it's $99, it was $100 worth of investment for me. that that when you are recording something or recording a sample of anything, that you name your track. It's like, just name your track off top and save it. Because at that point you're already gonna have a song. And the specific reason why you do that is because if you don't, it will stay untitled, and Lord and behold, your files get messed up somehow, and you have to look for that sample. Now, and then the next thing you want to do from there before you get ready to do it. Oh, make sure you're in song mode too for this next technique or whatnot. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you have your VST or whatever assigned to an insert mixer track. And I already have it in there. It's on the lead. And then make sure that you name it, which all I do in a nutshell is I just select one of these areas right here, one of these things right here. And it's much quicker than going in and giving it a unique name. You only want to give something a unique name when you are doing something outside of that, or if you just really care about it. So I just named it. I use it as a lead because it's my lead synth, my lead instrumentation, lead melody, etc. So yeah, we have that. You named it. Boom, you're in there. Now, this is where it could get tricky for everybody. You want to use this right here, which is the record button. And also, you want to go to your playlist and highlight. Make sure that if you have been quantizing and whatnot, set to line quantize so you get a perfect loop. Also, keep in mind that if you have stuff that is active right here, it will record everything for that master area right there. So, you could either mute this stuff right here, or you could just turn off the effects in this area, which is light years faster. But yeah. Now, this is the easiest part of it. Just check your loop, make sure that your loop is fine. Exactly why I'm recording now. Boop. And you're gonna go to this recording. Now, this is what in the music production world we call freezing a track. So render to WAV file. Make sure that this area is you have choices. You can switch the tail, which means if you want the extra chorus effect or whatever. I mean, not extra chorus effect, or the reverb or the tail of the particular sample. You can leave remainder or wrap remainder, but I just cut remainder because I don't care about that. I don't want it. I don't like it. So, background rendering. See, I was sitting there reading about, oh shit, that was actually fast. I thought it was actually taking long. I was reading. Reading is fundamental. So we're going to go and check what has manifested here. And see there you go, it's there. Now, you just select track 1 because that's where you want that destination file to go. And mute the Obscurium or whatever you're going to use to sample it is pretty much in this area, and then play it. Now we have the actual chop that we want. We're just going to add it. It did just turn it off. Now I can just, you don't have to mute all your other drums and stuff like that. If you're in it, just keep in mind, whatever you select right here, as far as your recording, it will record just that. It won't record everything else. Like if you was just micing something and you might get background noise or anything like that, it won't do that. Now let's check it. Boy, I hope somebody crushes this beat. But yeah, so there you have it right there. You know, this is just an introduction video. I didn't want to really get too into it. But all right, now here's another issue that you might run into, because granted, you might not like the speed of the track. You see that? When I stretch the track out or move the BPM up to 100, the actual drum track didn't move or anything like that. And that's because of this right here. Particularly when you record to disk versus exporting the actual file that you want to do, there's no tempo set to it. So what you're going to have to do is this right here. And I want everybody to pay close attention. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bigger. You go right here to this little sign thingy right here that looks like a WAV file, and you'll have other options. You'll see preview, select source channel, blah 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 blah, and then you'll see fit to tempo. Now you can select 90 BPM, which is embedded, or you can type in the BPM, which, you know, you might have to do that or might not, but you set it to 90 BPM, and then now you'll see restretch to all channels. Now select yes, and look. Simple as that. Awesome, right? Yeah, so if you like this video, hopefully y'all will. And just keep in mind, it's an introduction video. Give it a like. If you have any comments, you know, ask me if there's anything that might have confused you. And if this is the first video that you've seen by me, hey, you know, I have more videos. Check them out. And please subscribe. This is DJ McCree, and I want y'all to have a nice day.